Hello everybody, I hope you're doing well. This one I've been excited to bring to you for a while. This is the first comic I ever bought myself. I had possessed comics before, but this is the first one where I took my pocket money and bought myself a comic because I loved the Spider-Man TV series, and Venom was my absolute favourite bad guy ever at the time, and probably still in the top three at least, if he's not the top. And yeah, loved him, and I always loved the J. Jonah Jameson character because this was in 2003, so the movie had been out. So I loved J. Jonah Jameson from the cartoons, but the characterization by J.K. Simmons in it made that was at least half the quality of the movie for me. So to have the three of them on the cover, I was like, oh wow, this is going to be cool. And so yeah, this is the first comic I picked up. So it begins with Cletus Cassidy is in a maximum security prison for supers. They've not been able to take the symbiote away from him, so they've got sonic and fire cannons, and they've got this force field of some kind that stops him, or at least impedes him from merging with his symbiote long enough for them to fire upon him. And Daddy's home! They thought it was just a janitor. Cletus was being all smug, taking the piss out of the guards, trying to taunt them, and then, oh, the shoe is on the other fucking foot now. I love this panel so much. Ethan Van Sciver spoke about when a hero suits up. So for the Flash, it would be like his ring where it pops and the suit comes out, and Lantern, where his suit just kind of flares up out of the Lantern ring. Batman, when he suits up, it's a really quite an iconic scene. Every movie has made an attempt at it, or most movies have, and Venom is no exception, and is one of the best with the way the symbiote just kind of slides up and engulfs him. And you can see here John Romita made even the way the little eye indents to fit the shape of his skull, and then the mouth coming down right over his jaw, so that it's his jaw would kind of end here, and then the jaw of the symbiote just T-Rex just right down here. And then look at him, he's just this fucking absolutely massive hulk of a human being. So Cletus tries to symbiote up, but a combination of absolute terror and the force field slow him down, and then Venom kills the shit out of all the guards. Cletus is terrified, which I found really satisfying because everybody thought that they were the edgy kid by having Carnage as their favourite, and it was Carnage is just Venom, but when you're playing at primary school and the other kid's well, I'm that +1. So you're oh, I'm a superhero and I've got super strength, and they're well, I've got super strength +1 more than you. That's all Carnage ever was. Maximum Carnage was a great story. It was a really good story, well executed and interesting, but Carnage was not what made it. It was the interaction between Venom and Peter Parker that made it, in my opinion. So he is terrorizing Cletus Cassidy, and then eats the fucking symbiote, because why not? It's his property after all. Don't tread on me. And then I love this little burp, because that's quite a lot of symbiote to take in one, and it's red like baked beans, so it's maybe going to give him a bit of wind. Next part is they hold a welcome home party for Mary Jane, and Peter Parker is putting the sign up. Him and MJ aren't going through such a good patch at the moment because she's been away, been very independent modelling. She's not happy with him being Spider-Man, not because she doesn't believe in him, or because she's a nagging moan, but because she wants them to get married and do things, and she feels like, I'm sure anybody who's been in a relationship, or you don't have to have been, because anybody can relate to anybody, but I feel that probably for policemen and firemen and military people, and even I guess to an extent certain types of hazard paid construction workers and stuff must be able to relate to this, of the wife being worried that they might not come home, and that creates tension in the relationship. So that's all it is for MJ, is she's doing her own thing, and Spider-Man takes up so much of his time that she both feels neglected and worried that what's the point in planning a life with somebody who could be dead tomorrow. So it wasn't a case of I'm reading this going, oh, MJ, you nag. It's actually no, she has legitimate points, and she doesn't hate Peter or anything. She's just like, look, this is the situation, and we need to deal with it like adults, and it's brilliant. I really liked it. She's also been getting stalked, presumably because she's a model, and she has acquired a stalker. So what happens here is they're all making up the place for the welcome home party, and then Liz Allen here, she is the beast incarnate, and she German suplexes Peter Parker. Suplex City, bitch! No, Peter is. This is really clever. They give him all sorts of cool little problems like this in this book. He's falling off the stool, but he doesn't want to do like a triple backflip out of it, and a small fall wouldn't harm him. So he's like, oh wait, shit, I better not actually. I better let myself fall, or it's not like, oh my god, Spider-Man, because you didn't fall over. But you don't want to give any. You don't want it to get on that slippery slope of people knowing. So Liz actually tries to catch him. They end up a little bit close. And Aunt May's like, "Oi, you two, nae shagging." So they're like, "Alright, Aunt May, nae shagging." But obviously there's a bit of sexual tension there because of them being them and the Peter MJ situation and all that sort of stuff. But it never comes to anything. It's just a little moment. Again, it's like real people. It's like they just have a moment of like, "Oh, hi, this is funny, isn't it?" Nothing crazy. And then Peter unplugs the phone because he doesn't want the stalker to ruin the thing. And they had wired phones back then. Yeah, so this is brilliant. I fucking love this panel. As Captain Cummings always has a panel that he would say needs to go on the wall, this would probably be it for me. It's relatively simple. I have redrawn this panel so many times, like just my version of it. I fucking love it. One of the things I love most about it is Venom having lips. I know that sounds like a bit like strange, but I actually love that. I think it makes him. I love the wee smirk, and then the wee smirk would turn into that sort of T-Rex growl. I think that's awesome. And then yeah, he's got a to-do list which makes me laugh all the time. Kill Landlord, kill Spider-Man, get Symbiote back, kill Spider-Man, destroy the Daily Bugle, kill Spider-Man, kill Spider-Man, kill Spider-Man. I fucking love it. And then he swings off into the distance like the badass he is. So, yeah, Liz Allen and Peter Parker having a little bit of a moment again. And she's kind of like, oh, I'm sorry she doesn't appreciate you. Isn't that sad? And just drama to make things a bit more lively. And then Peter Parker sees Venom. Obviously it doesn't set off the spider sense, so he actually sees Venom go right past his house. He's like, what are the chances of that? That's not right. So yeah, this is MJ. She's coming back into town. She's in the taxi. Next item on the do list is obviously kill Jameson and destroy the Daily Bugle. So look who it is again. That is not just a man with a can of water. It's fucking Venom. And he's got it out for Jonah Jameson and Spider-Man because obviously they ruined Eddie Brock's reputation and he ain't thinking straight because he is dosed up on Venom. So they then go back to his ultimate revenge ploy. He's going back to I think it's Our Lady of Saints, it's called, the church, where he was created. In order to kill Jameson, Spider-Man will naturally show up because he's Spider-Man, and then he'll kill him too, right on the place where Venom was born, and then Venom will ride off into the sunset with his little baby. So he throws Jameson off the roof, or goes to, but Spider-Man, he's learned from the Gwen Stacy incident, and instead of actually trying to grab Jameson out of the air or anything like that, he actually has the clever idea of splattering him to the wall, so that he can't fall, and won't, get any whiplash or anything like that. I thought that was really clever. And then look at that! Look at that. That's another contender for the piece that should go on the wall. It's actually quite a famous panel, I think. I've seen that a few times on various places. We get an awesome rooftop fight scene between the two of them. They kind of shoot the shit over their shared history. And we get like a really good fight scene, which I really enjoyed. I don't want to go through that too much. Spider-Man, obviously they show off how powerful Spider-Man actually is. Like, he just kicked Venom through a wall with relatively, not a little ease, it was a big kick, but kicked him through the wall, and then he's like, we'll use the bells. But Venom, this is the thing, nobody is stupid in this. Like, Peter isn't awesome because the villain is stupid. Venom has removed all the clappers from the bells, so the bells are completely silent. Peter Parker thinks he's been a smart arse, and Venom just comes at him again. And, like, he is done. He is, like, seriously done. And they make it clear to the reader that Spider-Man is about to fucking die, when all of a sudden the power of the red and the blue symbiote both at once is too much for Venom to contain, and it starts taking over his body, which he's not quite sure what effect that'll have, and he doesn't want to ruin his revenge plan, and it's giving him really bad acid, burping all the time. So he leaves Spider-Man in a crumpled heap and swings off into the distance because he knows that he's that powerful now and knows all their weaknesses and knows their secret identity and all that bullshit, that he can really get Peter or Jameson anytime he wants. He broke into, like, the most secure prison in Manhattan or whatever for supervillains, no problem. I think he can manage a newspaper editor. So this is the really interesting part. This is the cliffhanger they leave you on. Jameson, the webbing obviously weakens and he manages to climb down a little bit, sees Peter Parker lying unconscious, and then he can obviously look under the mask. But will he do it? Will he let Spider-Man have his mask? He's just saved his life. Surely he deserves some anonymity, but the public must know. And immediately cuts to MJ, and she's waiting on Peter getting home. He's prepared a lovely dinner and a nice welcome home sign, but he's not there. And then the phone is plugged back in somehow, and Mary Jane's stalker gives her a little call. So you feel so bad for her because she's come back home, he's not there, the house is dark, nobody's there for her, there's a fucking stalker phoning her, and it's raining. And yeah, it's just like, you really feel for her because this is pre-Ballbuster MJ. So you're like, oh, what a shame. Like, everybody loved MJ at the time, and Parker. So you feel so bad for both of them because he's just had the snot kicked out of him, and may have his secret identity exposed. We don't know, and she's in the house on her own, scared shitless because the stalker was obviously I think she was in LA, and now he's followed her to New York. And then, an advertisement for the next issue, which, oh no, this is a different title. This is the Dan Slott book, in which, this is before he had his beard, and he's getting kicked the crap out of by Daredevil. So that was good. Anyway, I love this comic. I still love this comic. It still holds up. It's fucking brilliant. And number 10. I'm going to review another one from this era later. But no, I love this. And I think that as far as first comics go, this was a good one to have. I think I got quite lucky with my first comic. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope that you thought my commentary was alright. I would like to know your thoughts below. Please tell me if you read this one, or if you read anything around this era. Tell me if you miss that old Peter Parker MJ dynamic, and then did you enjoy the way they used to do that? Tell me about your favourite characters. Like, did you like J. Jonah Jameson as much as I did, and all that sort of stuff. Let me know below. Please share, please subscribe, please like, and I shall catch you guys next time. Thanks, bye.